Hey, welcome. We're going to be reading the Declaration of Independence here. You can see the opening here in front of you. You need to, before we start, make sure that you print out your own copy so that you can make your notes on it as I read through and talk about it too. So make sure you have your own printed copy and you can read along. Now, this is the opening part of the Declaration. Now, the Declaration is a legal document. It's meant to set things down legally. So there's different parts of this legal document and how it works. We're going to start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. I heard that somewhere before. So let's talk about this opening. Now, what we don't have here in front of you is that there is before this the top that says, in Congress on 1776, a declaration of the United States of America. Now, that's intriguing and really interesting because here it is the first time that we legally see that name, the United States of America, or the name of our country where it comes from, that this was a declaration of the United States of America. These were no longer colonies of Britain anymore. These were the United States of America. So I always think that's interesting, and I always think that's pretty cool when I read that for the first time. That was the first time they had written themselves down as the United States of America. But this opening paragraph here is just kind of an introduction of what's going to happen in the rest of the document. So let's look at it. This is probably one of the most famous sentences in the whole world. You've probably heard this before, but we're going to talk about it and put some of the things up. So let's just read here. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another. So let's talk about some of those things. One of the real important words here is this necessary. That necessary is really important because remember, they didn't take this lightly. Governments were really important. And so when he actually broke down a government, this was a big deal. This wasn't something they took lightly. So here, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary. Necessary is a very strong word. And notice they're giving out here too that they're going to dissolve the political bonds. So they're going to not be a part of this society anymore. Now, as we read this, I really want you to keep in mind the John Locke reading, because so much of this is inspired by John Locke, that they are no longer going to be a part of the political society that was set up, because you can, if you don't like the government, if it's not doing the right things for you, according to John Locke, you have the ability to break off. So let's go on. So they're going to dissolve the political bonds which can connect them one with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. So here's two big references right here to John Locke. Don't you like my awesome? I'm doing this on an iPad. Isn't that great? iPad writing right there. But this is John Locke. Remember, they're referring to the state of nature. Remember, in the state of nature, everybody is equal. There's no kings and people. So everybody originally has the permission to be equal. So they're calling upon the laws of nature, inspired by John Locke, saying nature allows us to do this. We don't have to be connected to you. So let's see. The equal station with the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. And a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. So what they're looking at here is a decent respect to the opinions of mankind. So again, they're not doing this lightly, but they are saying that that if we are going to break up this government, if we are going to break apart, respectfully, we should talk about why. Now, I've heard some people talk about how you should read the Declaration of Independence kind of like a breakup letter, if you were writing to your girlfriend or your boyfriend, breaking up to them. It's kind of funny to read it that way, but really that is what they're doing. They're breaking up with Britain. And so they're saying, just to be respectful, I'm not just going to text you and say, see you later, or I'm not just going to send you an email, or I'm not just going to not talk to you anymore, like a lousy breakup would be. But a respectful one is I'm going to tell you, why we are breaking up. And we're going to declare the causes. So you can look for that in the rest of it. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them. Again, impel them is another strong word right there, to the separation. All right, well, hopefully you can still read that with my scribbles on it. But I do want you to remember that John Locke here is a huge inspiration to this. And so that's why they're calling upon the laws of nature that says there's no reason we have to be tied to you. Even though you're the king, that doesn't mean we have to follow you. The laws of nature allow us to choose our own government and our own things. And it's necessary, and we are impelled to do this. And we are going to tell you the causes because we're doing this respectfully. So some of those things that you can mark down that you may want to talk about in an essay question coming up. Wink, wink, wink. You can't see my face anymore, so I have to do a wink, 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 so you know what I'm doing. So write that down and go ahead and we can move on to the next part of the declaration.